Beginning of my video. Boom!
Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just
on.
kidding.
Blasphemer!
Hello,
Hello, Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things. It was over in a snap.
We really want it. Alright, we'll be nice.
Only you can be a Patreon.
Oh my gosh!
Yo,
That's crazy.
You don't need to follow the show to be hyped.
Hello, Boring Review Nation! Gabe! And I'm here today to review a very popular show that's on Netflix right now that I'm telling you, it's got the internet on fire. You know you've made it when the memes come out, okay? Whenever there's a meme about a show or a movie or something somebody does, you know it's going viral. And of course, you guys know from the thumbnail, we're talking about the Tiger King. Now, let me first start by saying that a few months ago, not even about a year ago, I was concerned for Netflix because I had heard all these streaming platforms were coming out. Disney, then they went ahead and they lost Friends, which they had, which was huge for them. They went ahead and lost other content. Eventually, they're going to lose all their Disney content. And I said, how is Netflix going to survive? But Netflix has done something really, really smart. They've started producing original content. And part of that original content they've produced are documentaries. Now, they've got some good movies on there. That's not what this is about. But as far as Netflix documentaries go, they really opened my eye with a documentary they called Making a Murderer. Making a Murderer was fabulous. 2 seasons of it. This show was binge worthy. You could not turn it on. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning on multiple nights with this show. It was insane. All I talked about was Making a Murderer when it first came out. And now they've done it again with Tiger King. Now, Tiger King is a story of 2 people for the most part. It's Joe Exotic, who had been on TV. This is a very colorful character. You know, he ran for president, and then when that didn't work out, ran for governor. This guy has been on a couple of television shows. I think it was like Good Morning America, local news. He's a well-known figure in that world of private zoos. And then his opponent, or the antagonist, if you want to call her that, Carole Baskins. Now, there's other characters that come up, other, for lack of a better word, zoo owners, but these aren't really zoos. They're private zoos for profit, and they're basically raising cubs so that they could pet them. And I thought about it like, man, is this really some big thing? You know what? I was on a cruise with my wife years ago, and one of the things was petting a baby tiger. We've got a picture of her holding this little baby tiger that she's petting. Is this up on my wall right now? No, I got it somewhere. But anyway, you know, it's one of those things where you do it and you don't really think what goes behind that. Well, these zoos, they expose, or the documentary exposes the fact that, you know, these cubs age out of that cuteness really, really quickly, about 4 months, 6 months tops, and then they get so big that now they become dangerous, so you really can't play with them or have the public play with them and hold them and take pictures with them. And then what do? You know, you got a lot of artists, a lot of famous people who purchase these animals and then have them, and then they get too big, and what do? They abandon them. Well, that's when these animal sanctuaries come into play, and they rescue these animals. Carole Baskins, who's again part of the show, that's what she does. She saves the animals. Joe, that's actually how he got his first 2 tigers. They don't actually mention this in the documentary, but I went and did a little research on my own, and his first 2 tigers, it was somebody else who had these tigers that didn't want them anymore. They were abandoned. Joe got a call, hey, there's 2 abandoned tigers in the house. He went and got them, brought it back to his original farm, which was a horse farm, actually. He turned it into the GW Zoo, and lo and behold, bred them. Here comes the cubs, and 2 tigers eventually turned into 227 tigers, which is what he had at one point. This docu-series is absolutely riveting. You cannot watch one episode and just stop. You will binge watch it. I've had friends of mine say, hey, are you going to do a review on this? This is insane. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get on top of it, but I want to finish the series. Ended up finishing in 2 days with everything else I have to do because I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning binge watching them. I don't think there's only 7 episodes to it, but it's great storytelling. Ultimately Joe comes off as a sad figure in all of this. He's a very, very colorful character. He's out in Oklahoma. That's where his GW Zoo is at. He gets himself into some trouble. He's a very odd character. He wants to be a showman, but I mean, this is a gun-toting, mullet having, this guy is very colorful. He does what he wants. You've got to watch the show. It's one of those things that once you watch the show, first of all, you'll never look at. Next time you go on a cruise or you go anywhere and they have these little baby tigers that you can pet and take pictures with, you'll start thinking whoa, what goes behind that? Do I want to really support this? Okay. And it also tells you that there's a lot of America that isn't just the cities. I've been lucky enough to grow up in big cities my whole life. I grew up in New York. I lived in Atlantic City, New Jersey for a while, Miami for a year, Las Vegas now. So relatively big cities, but you got smaller places in middle America. This show predominantly takes place in Oklahoma, where Joe's from, down in Florida, where Carole Baskin has her sanctuary, and in rural America, some of these places where life's a little bit different. Again, he ran for governor and got 19% of the vote. I repeat, ran for governor, got 19% of the vote. Yeah, insane. Okay. The thing about this series, though, is not just Joe, but some of the other characters that are on the show. There's a female character she's a Hawaiian girl. You tend to love her. She's very endearing. She works at the zoo, and a tragedy befalls her, and you just root for her. And you're like, man, she's so loyal. Some of the people around him are so loyal, but ultimately, he just makes some bad decisions and bad things happen to him. I would absolutely rate this one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. I put it right up there with Making a Murder, which was another great documentary and that Netflix did. And when they do things like this, you can see easily how they're going to survive. I give it an A+. I usually talk a lot about these films, and I just don't want to give everything away. I don't want to give away the story or what happens in the story, but watch it. It's got everything from a murder to murder for hire plot, which is ultimately what gets him in trouble. Okay. That's all over the news, so I don't think that's spoilers. They actually tell you it right in the beginning of a cult as a zoo, and it's polygamous, and he's got 5 wives or 6 wives. It's insane. You just got to watch this series. The fact that sometimes real life is stranger than fiction. It is where you're just like, I can't believe this happened. And yes, this all absolutely happened. If I was going to tell you that a tiger trainer, I forgot to mention, he became a country music singer, putting out videos, taunting his opponents, /reality TV star, /gun-toting, self-proclaimed redneck with a mullet, running for governor. You can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, it's insane. Watch this show. You will not be disappointed. Tiger King on Netflix. Guys, that's my review. A+. Watch it. Leave me some comments below. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Come back afterwards. I may do a complete spoiler once Nick watches it, and we'll talk about it more in depth. But for right now, this is just my quick non-spoiler review. As usual, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead subscribe. It really supports the channel. And until next time, we know